Now, moving back to the topic, why were we even discussing this? Those of you that know, this was this is what it was all about.
Explicitly, that you know are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything.
Masala
They'll
moment.
bring you riwayat and they'll bring you athar, and then you add to that very well-known issues of, I don't even want to be explicit. And then you bring on top of that makhtutat, and then. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say. The standard narrative does not answer some very pressing questions. Okay?
So, many of you may be familiar what Sheikh Huzur Qadhi Sahib did. Is he went on an interview with Muhammad Hijab, and what he decided to do in that interview is no, he never decided. To be fair to him, Muhammad Hijab sprung on him this question, this controversy to do with the Qur'an not being preserved. What is this about? You know, because how do we have these different manuscripts or these different variants, and what's going on? And Yasir Qadhi Sahib, what he does is he decides to just be very open. And he decides to say, well, you know what? I'm going to just pour my heart out and say that we've got huge problems with the Qur'an, yeah? But then what makes it worse is he doesn't give the solution. Like, he keeps saying this is something we shouldn't be discussing in front of people, shouldn't be discussing this in front of people, but then he carries on discussing it but only discussing the problem part, yeah? And when it comes to the solution, he says, well, you know, this is really complicated, why don't you go on my course? Right, so why don't you go on my course, and, you know, I had 100 people on it, and join my paid course, and what I'll do is I'll take you through the answers. But there was a point in there where Muhammad Hijab says to him that, look, if I gave you a blank mushaf, a blank Qur'an, and you can use any mushaf you want, but you have to rewrite the Qur'an, would you rewrite it with pretty much what we have today? And for some reason, you know, that only one, Allah knows, and two, Qadhi Sahib, Yasir Qadhi knows, he decided to say, well, that's a complicated question. Right, so what happened is, after this whole episode of Muhammad Hijab kind of pressing him and him deciding to have this moment of epiphany and transparency, and I want to just pour my heart out to the world, right? This backfired so badly. People flipped. The mob flipped. Worse than that, Muhammad Hijab realized that, oh my God, this is backfired on him as well, right? So people turned on Muhammad Hijab. What does Muhammad Hijab do? He turns on Yasir al-Qadhi. He has a, if I can, let me just see, where was the, I had it here somewhere. Right, here it is. So this is a part of Muhammad Hijab's Facebook post. He decides to make a Facebook post saying that Yasir Qadhi against him after the interview, he will be refuted. Huh? He will be refuted. Boy, you're finished. He will be refuted. This is what... So Muhammad Hijab decides to, you know what, let's just turn on him. This bichara had come on there, and you know something? This... Yasir Qadhi had come on there and thought, you know what, I'm going to have a heart-to-heart.
That's not true.
हमें पूछो क्या होता है बिना दिल के जिए
Hi, hi, hi.
बहुत आई गई यादें
He decided to come on there and do a heart-to-heart. Little does he know that Muhammad Hijab turns it on him and says, if I think he's being a deviant, and if he's going to be a deviant, we're going to refute him. We're going to turn on him. And this is who he, by the way, Yasir Qadhi would never agree to come and have a dialogue with me. I had asked him, let's have a dialogue. No, no, no. I would never backstab any of my guests. I wouldn't do that. Not my style, you know. I mean, I may ask them questions. I may do that, but I wouldn't backstab them. You know, I wouldn't kind of call them on, press these questions, and then say, oh, you know what? He needs to be refuted. So this is where you've got this statement by, obviously, Muhammad Hijab to gain his own popularity.
Finished. Wallahi, you're finished. Wallahi, you're finished.
Hi, hi. Allah, Allah, एतबार ना रहा. This is what has happened, people. This is what. But I want to say, look, listen, people. In many ways, Sheikh Yasir Qadhi, Muhammad Hijab, in many ways, this is for them just chickens coming home to roost. They are part and parcel of this mob culture of creating this, we need to refute people. This, you know, this refutation culture of like, oh, if you're and Yasir Qadhi is one of the biggest proponents of this. Not so long ago, he made a video where he was speaking about me. He doesn't mention my name, but he's saying, yeah, you know, this, and he's speaking about these so-called muftis, and he says that this scholar, we wish he would, rather than claiming to be Sunni Maliki, just claim to be of another sect, non-Sunni, Mu'tazili or something, so we don't have to refute you. Acha, cha, cha, cha. And now, you know, check this out, people, check this out. Sheikh Yasir Qadhi, Qazi Sahab, when, you know, look, this is my nasiha to Americans. You know, Americans really don't know how to handle this stuff. Two things they can't handle. One seems to be they can't handle women. As soon as they get on certain, as soon as they get to certain kind of fame, usually there's a big problem, you know. And two, they can't handle controversy. People, I king of controversy, you know. Come ask me how, and I'll help you out. I'll give you some tips. Qazi Sahab, Yasir Qazi, look, when he's being asked, Halloween, no, too controversial, won't say Halloween is permissible. No. Merry Christmas, no, toba, too controversial. Music, is it, can you clearly say music is not haram? No. Too controversial to be clear. You know, too controversial, you know, this one not nice, you know. Men's jewelry, controversial. No. Acha. Hijab, too controversial. Beard, too controversial. Bukhari Gate, can we speak about Bukhari Gate? No, too controversial. Acha. The first controversy he wants to begin with is the Qur'an isn't preserved. That's like no foreplay, just anal. Oh man, what is this? What is going on here? I mean, is that the controversy you want to begin with? That, things like Merry Christmas is too controversial. Halloween is too controversial. So you want to begin with that the Quran is not preserved. the backbone of Islam. This is the thing, and people might say that, oh, but Mufti, you're being harsh on him, but am I? Because in all honesty, this is the thing. This is what you get. This is what you get for promoting this culture, creating this culture, and for even up until recently being a part of it. This is what you were doing. This is what you're doing with people like me. Oh, this is a deviant sect. These are deviant people. This is wallahi, wallahi, ya akhi, this is deviant, And then for thinking Muhammad Hijab is a friend, he would never come on a show with people like me or other people, but he wants to come on a show with Muhammad Hijab. One Puttar labba swad. This one not nice, my friend, واحذر لسانك من خل تنادمه. Allah, beware of what you say in front of these so-called companion friends. إن النديم لمشتق من الندم. Allah. This is it, people. But then it comes back and it bites you. This one bite. And so for being so foolish and stupid, you see, you have to that's his own fault. And look, let me tell you something. He kept saying, oh, we shouldn't discuss this in front of the public. No, don't discuss this in front of the public. Don't discuss. Abe o mere chache. Discussing the question was the problem, not discussing the answer. When it came to the answer, he started saying, oh, come on my course. Everybody join enroll on my paid course, and I will then give you the answer. Arey, oh, Maha Qadhi Sahab. The question was the problem, not the answer. Give them the answer, or give them some answer. And then he's like, oh my God, I've got so much hate now, And because now the public are either going to force him to pretend he doesn't believe in in his problems and pretend that there's no problems that he sees, or he's going to have to own his truth and become further disowned. And it's chickens coming home to roost, because, this... Let me tell you something. What? My uncle, legend, may Allah bless his soul and have mercy on his soul and grant him an elevated maqam in Jannatul Firdaus. Once we were in Karachi, when we were chatting, and we were talking about someone. My uncle was telling me about this person, and he was kind of criticizing him. And I said to my uncle, I said, Mamu, I said to him that, because the person that we were speaking about was poor, poverty stricken. And I said, look, gharib hona, koi ghalti thori na hoti hai. And my uncle said to me, he said, हाँ यार, he said ये तो है. He said गरीब होना गलती नहीं है. You know, I said, look, the person being poor isn't a, you know, you can't fault him for that. And he said हाँ यार, he said that's true. You know, गलती होना, गरीब होना गलती नहीं है. He goes, मगर फुद्दू होना बहुत बड़ी गलती है. You know, this is the problem, you see. Like you see, being an idiot, this is your fault. You know, so when you decide to come on live and make these kind of dumb statements and then not even qualify them, not even, you know, when the person's asking, just to kind of dramatize the whole thing, would you be able to write a Qur'an that looks like the Qur'an today? Oof, that's a very complex question. Oof, yaar, bada complicated. Yaar, this one, hada su'alun. Oof. What is it? You know, سوف نلقي عليك قولا ثقيلا. Yeah, what on earth is this guy on about? Just look, say what you have to say, and then just give some clarity. You know, say that, look, of course, the Quran is going to be the same Quran here. What other Quran am I going to write? Oh, this is complicated, you know, this one. And then people are obviously having a field day. Ex-Muslims are having a field day. Jay Smith is going on about it. He's made a whole video. All these Islamophobes are loving it. So yeah, so this was the story of our beloved Qadhi Saab, who is right now heartbroken.
हमें पूछो क्या होता
क्या होता है यार?
बिना
हाय
दिल
हाय
के
हाय. जिए जाना, बिना दिल के जिए जाना. This is how Qadhi Saab right now is living without a heart. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what happens, people. That's what happens. So yeah, so I had to cover that part, and I hope but before I went into it, I wanted to cover the topic beforehand of the dynamic nature of the Qur'an, so people already know that. Somebody said Yasir Qadhi equals. No, I'm not saying. I no say that, yaar. I say his behavior is like. It's true though. His behavior was a bit, you know. And mark my words, you know something. He has only gone further down in his crisis because he will now have to choose. Does he remain true to himself? Like, does he own this, or does he now have to pretend? And he will lose so many more fans and so much more of a following that he's pandering to. Muhammad Hijab, I actually believe in, because he's young yet. Give him a decade, I feel he too will crumble under a similar crisis. Because these people, they began their journey from this kind of plateau that isn't sustainable. You know, with all these certainties that they claim, that just ain't there. And with maturity, that will kind of crumble. But yeah. Guys, I hope that's been of some help. People, let's wrap this up. He can step down now. I'm sure he can, but you know, he's going to lose it all, isn't he? This is why I was saying that I'm so glad that, alhamdulillah, that I did things my way. You know, like, at the end of the day, if my opinions change, they change. But people know that's who I am. They don't need to accept me, but I'm not pandering or sucking up to a kind of Frankenstein crowd who, you know, will then turn on me. Guys, let's wrap this up.